Hey everyone, I'm the Rev. You may remember me from such videos as the Rev vs James Baldwin 1 and the Rev vs James Baldwin 2. Well, it's time for the Rev vs James Baldwin 3. And for this one, we were going to have to do some training. Cue the montage. That's enough of that. For this race, we were having to come to Jeddah. This is a track that I don't know at all. Never driven it before. James knows it really well. He's driven it in real life in a real GT3 McLaren. For that, he has my utmost respect. Because if you don't know, Jeddah, when you get it wrong, can bite you. As Mick Schumacher found out in 2022. Scary stuff. So not so long ago, James made a video about how he prepares for a real-life GT3 race. In this video, he was on Assetto Corsa in the McLaren and he set a lap on the track. And his lap was a 2 minutes .047. That was the benchmark, that's what we were going for. So I jumped into the McLaren, same setup as James Baldwin. The car is in the video description below and I headed out onto the Jeddah circuit. Now, as I say, not familiar with this track, so I just did a few laps nice and slow, driving round, trying to get my head round which way the track actually went and what corner came next. That's all I do when I try and learn a new circuit. I head out onto the track, I do some slow laps, and I just get my head round the actual circuit layout. So once I decided that I was happy with which way the track went, I restarted the session and it was time to try and do some kind of representative lap. The first sector, it starts with two tight corners, the left and the right, but after that, it's a pretty fast flowing circuit. Looking to brake here in between the 100 and 50 metre board, try and clip the curb on the left hand side, tuck it tight for the right hander. This is another tight section now, fourth gear, keep it tight. You've really got to chuck the car into this left hander, then the right, using the weight transfer of the car. Third gear onto fourth. Otherwise you end up washing out to the right hand side on traction. As you can see there, I've just managed to exceed the track limits, but it's okay because this lap was just to see roughly what we could do. Again, in between the 150 metre board down to third, rear of the car goes light, you have to catch it. This corner feels like it goes on forever, you have to wait to get on the power. I'm a little bit eager there, but I managed to catch the rear slide. Foot to the floor now, change up to fifth, in between the 150 again, down to third. I get it all sorts of wrong. Shake of the head there from me, but it was very early on in my Jeddah experience, so we was okay with it. This part of the circuit now, you can actually catch your breath just for a little second. Foot to the floor, and you're looking for the 100 metre board. We're going to brake just before it, down to third gear, get close to the barrier, again the car goes light, get on the power, and stay on that power now. Tuck it tight, close to the wall, and just keep the throttle nailed as we head down to the last corner. Now, before I drove this track, if you'd asked me did I like it, I would have said no. I'd have said I hated it. It's a rubbish track. Just from watching it on the TV. Down to second gear, tuck it in tight, get on the power early, and it's down towards the start finish line. What's the time going to be? But I do have to say that after driving it, I'm absolutely in love with it. What a fantastic track. What's the time going to be as we cross the line? It's a 2 minutes and 2.5 seconds. So I've got 2.5 seconds to find if I'm going to get anywhere near James Baldwin. I did a few more laps, but I didn't really make any kind of progress. So I had to end that session there, and then later in the day I came back to it, changed your livery into the Sky Tempesta McLaren, because obviously this livery is probably worth what, 3/4 tenths, and we went at it again. And as you can see there in the top right hand corner, I managed to get my lap time down to a 2 minutes dead .780, so 7 tenths off James Baldwin. I managed to take plenty of time off, but there was still more than 3/4 of a second to find this lap. This lap had started very, very well though. Loads of commitment here through this first sector. And that is what gradually I was learning. This track rewarded commitment. You had to be so near those walls and so ready to commit to these corners. It really is a great track. As I say, watched it before on TV, watched it with the Formula 1 races, and if you'd have asked me about Jeddah, I'd have said it's another rubbish street circuit that Formula 1 have come up with. But to actually drive it, now I'm used to it, oh my word, it's fantastic. Really, really rewarding track. Love this as well. Down to third, throw it in. This was better, but I spoke too soon. A little snap from the rear cost me about 2/10, and I'm going to feel that now all the way down this straight as my time just bleeds away, as you can see there in the top right hand corner. Let's look for that 100-metre board. On the brakes before again. Down to third. Not too bad, but I felt like the entry was poor. I could have done that better, and I've lost all that time. But as long as that split time up there is green, we're going to keep at it, because we're going to keep chipping away at this time. It's worth taking just a second as well, just to say that this McLaren is also fantastic. It feels great and it looks fantastic. It's completely free. The link is in the video description. The link to everything you need to replicate this is in the video description, and I'd love to know your times. But I'm up by 1/10. It's going up. What's the lap time going to be? In this session, the best that I could manage, it was a 2 minutes 0.6. 2 minutes 0.623. Unfortunately, that was all the time that I had in that session, as a set of night shifts was fast approaching and I had to go and prepare some food. However, once that was done, I jumped back on for one last go, one last session to try and beat James Baldwin for the third time. As you can see, in the top right hand corner, I managed to get my time down to a 2 minutes 0.2. I just needed to find 0.2 of a second to try and be faster than James Baldwin. Could I do it? On this particular lap, I was already a 10th down. However, I really committed left into the right, and I managed to find that 10th of a second. Stayed in 4th gear, loads of commitment again. Down to 3rd, took it nice and tight near the wall, on the power early, up to 4th, ride the curb, and that time was coming down. Decent. So far, so good in Sector 1. Pelton hook up. You certainly could feel when the McLaren hooked up. I've got a green split now, heading into the left-hander, lose the rear a little bit, but that just means that I can tuck the nose tighter. I'm on the power nice and early, and that time's coming up. I was really happy with this so far. Another fast corner now approaching. Look for the apex down to 3rd, tuck it in near to the wall. Get a little bit on the curb up to 4th, and that time was still rising. Green split, I was more than happy with this. Could we do it? This could possibly give me enough to beat James Baldwin for the 3rd time. Foot to the floor, looking for the 100-metre board. Down to 3rd, lost the rear ever so slightly, but managed to get on the power early. Tuck the nose in. And with almost 2/10 up, this was looking good. Come on, Rev. Last corner. Don't cock it up. Come on. Trying a little bit of self-motivation there. There's just the last corner to go. Don't mess the braking zone up, which is exactly what I do. What a muppet. Running too deep, but at least I can tuck it back to get on the power early. We're still in the green. What's it going to be? I was hopeful, but I don't think I'd done enough. All I could do was keep my foot nailed to the floor and hope for the best. What was the time going to be? Oh, that'll do. It was a 2 minute 0.1. Oh my god, that'll do. There's still time in there. There is still time. Oh my word. Half a tenth between us. There was indeed still time in there. This time, I'd not done enough to beat James Baldwin. But you can't win them all. Unfortunately, that was as much time as I could dedicate to this particular project at this moment in time. However, I'd really enjoyed it. The car felt great and I'd learnt a new track. James, if you are watching, mate, thank you very much for your videos. I really appreciate them. They're fantastic. If you guys like what I do on the channel, please hit that like and subscribe button, as it would massively help me out. As always, I've been the Reverend. Thank you very much for watching.